Is this new Gucci Guilty any good? Let's find out and review Gucci Guilty's Love Edition. Yo, what's up guys? Hunter here and welcome back to the channel where I upload weekly fragrance videos. You already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any future content, and be sure to follow me over on my Instagram page. But today, in my hands is the newest launch from Gucci, which just recently came out, and I've been excited about this one because I'm actually a huge fan of the OG Gucci Guilty, guys. That was one of the first fragrances I ever owned, and I always thought personally it was always so underrated. Nobody talks about the OG Guilty at all, but I did enjoy that DNA and still do at this time, and man, I'm excited to review Gucci Guilty's Love Edition, which is a limited release. And I know Gucci came out with a Love Edition back in 2020 or 2021, and I remember vividly because around that time was when I started my fragrance YouTube channel. And I do always remember going to the department stores back then, and they were always having me smell the new Gucci Guilty Love Edition, which I thought was funny. And never ended up picking a bottle of like the 2021 Love Edition, but I do have the newest one in my hands now. I also do want to shout out Gucci for sending this one over for review. Of course, I'm going to keep it honest with you guys. If I enjoy it, I do it. If I don't, I don't, and I'm going to make that clear. So let's go with some information now. Gucci Guilty Love Edition was launched in 2024 or maybe even 2025. I know it just recently came out, but if you look it up, it does say 2024, but I think these actually finally hit the market in 2025. For the retail price, only two sizes these come in, which is 50 ml for $124, or you get the 90 ml like I have in hand for $155. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, that is kind of expensive in my opinion for a Gucci Guilty launch. Believe it or not guys, I've seen people finding these already at like your local rack store such as like TJ Maxx and Marshalls, which is crazy since this literally just came out, which would make it maybe one of the fastest fragrances to hit the rack stores, to be honest. Concentration with this is an eau de parfum, so you are getting a pretty respectable concentration with it as well. A little bit less than the Nick Straight, but obviously more than like an eau de cologne or an eau de toilette, which is a good thing, especially at the price they're charging for these. The perfumer, I did try to do some research, came up short. I'm not really sure who exactly made Gucci Guilty Love Edition, so if anybody has that information, leave a comment down below. With all the information out of the way, let's look at the packaging and presentation you get with Love Edition now. All right, so we're only gonna be looking at the bottle today since mine came in kind of like a gift set, so I don't have the original box. But this bottle, guys, I love the aesthetic of this kind of matte pastel greenish color going on. I think it looks great with the Gucci Guilty Love Edition Pour Homme. They also have a Pour Femme edition, which I do own as well in the purple matte bottle. On the bottom, you have your sticker, which is your batch code and some information. On the back, the same exact thing. On the top, you have the Gucci logo. Nothing inside of the cap, nothing on top of the atomizer, and the cap is kind of like a plastic. It's very lightweight, but it does click in very securely. In the top, you have juniper. In the mid, you have orange blossom, and in the base, you have amber figs, and this will be classified as a citrus floral, and that note breakdown is very simplistic. So let's spray this to test out this atomizer. Honestly, a very bad atomizer that isn't pressurized, but it gets the job done at the end of the day, so it's not the biggest deal. So let's go ahead and remind myself of the brand new Love Edition Gucci Guilty. So I gotta say guys, I honestly can't believe how much I like this fragrance because it is very familiar to another fragrance that I do not get along with, which is Yves Saint Laurent's Myself, and we'll talk about what the similarities are a little bit later, but man, this stuff is a banger from Gucci. Right away, when you apply this stuff, you're gonna get that juniper oil, which comes across very aromatic, pretty spicy as well too, which is a nice touch in the opening. It does kind of give it that gin characteristic when you spray this as well from the juniper. Of course, that is going to be like the primary dominant note right away. Just an extremely crowd-pleasing, easy-going opening that I can see a lot of people going into like Macy's, Dillard's, etc., spraying this one and thinking it smells great. Once we get into the mid is where things do change quite a bit because you are going to get a big dose of the orange blossom, which does come across very powdery, white florals. You get that kind of nuance, which if you know me, I'm not the biggest fan of white florals and fragrances at all, but for some reason, the way they kind of mix this together with the juniper in the opening, it doesn't go too much into the powdery direction, kind of like Myself does, which also has a mid of orange blossom, which is very similar, but I much prefer the way Gucci did it in here rather than Myself from Yves Saint Laurent. So if you're sort of like me and just kind of despise white florals, I think it kind of smells like grandma perfume, etc., which a lot of times it can, do not hesitate with this one because it doesn't really go so far into that direction, thankfully. This brings it a nice kind of classy elegance to the DNA. nishane. And also just makes it smell very, very clean, almost kind of like dryer sheets in the mid. Once you make our way into the base, you are going to just be left with this very new synthetic molecule called ambrofix, which does give it a very kind of dominant, musky, ambery tone. And ambrofix is another note in the base of Myself, which might have actually been the fragrance to start this note, because I think that was the first time I've ever seen ambrofix used in a fragrance was in the original Myself. And it's somewhat similar to ambroxan, which is used in a ton of men's fragrances, which just brings a modern kind of masculine, almost woodiness about it. You are going to get a similar vibe to that, but I think ambrofix is a little bit more on the ambery side. So if you want to smell like a modern gentleman, this is going to be a great fragrance for you because it kind of just smells like you're up to date. I think Gucci knocked it out of the park with the brand new Guilty Love Edition, guys. One of the best in the line that I own, at least, and way better than Yves Saint Laurent's Myself. So for the best seasons to rock, Gucci Guilty Love Edition, if you do decide to pick up a bottle, is going to be very versatile right down the line, guys. Fall, winter, spring, and summer. It's just a perfect kind of signature scent that can be worn in all 4 seasons without any hesitation. There's just something about it. This smells very clean, very signature scent worthy, just very versatile, which is what a lot of people want, because you're not going to be like me and have around 600 or so bottles. A lot of guys just want one go-to signature scent fragrance that will just get the job done any kind of season. And I think if that's you, this is going to be a great option, because you're going to get the spicy aromatic juniper, that ambery kind of modern woody ambrofix that are perfect for like the fall and winter, but you're also gonna get like the orange blossom, the cleanness about it, which is good for like the spring and summer. With the occasion as well, it is very versatile, which kind of go hand in hand with the seasons. You can wear this one dressed down, you can wear this one dressed up. I picture wearing this one the best if you're going to work, maybe if you work in an office, dress up a little bit for work, etc. This is gonna be the best kind of fragrance for that attire in that kind of situation, because it's extremely inoffensive. It just smells clean, it smells great, and very, very crowd pleasing, and doesn't come across offensive at all to pretty much anybody. I don't really see anybody really hating this fragrance per se, which is exactly what you want if you're in a close quarter kind of work office environment. But guys, don't get it twisted. This is a great kind of date fragrance as well that will just make your person you're going out with fall in love with you, hence love edition, guys. So because from my experience, guys, girls love when a man smells just clean, and that's gonna give off that vibe. I wouldn't say it's like a sexy fragrance. It's not like a mouth-watering gourmand fragrance or anything along those lines, but it just smells good and clean, which a lot of girls just appreciate, and just kind of gives off you got your life together. So when it comes to gender, I know this is of course targeted towards men. Gucci Guilty Love Edition Pour Homme, and they have a Love Edition Pour Femme in the purple bottle. But personally, this is a very unisex fragrance. I can see a woman rocking this one if she absolutely wanted to, but I guess I would say unisex leaning masculine, because the Pour Femme version of this is very feminine. It has a note of lilac, which I think is very interesting. I think I don't own any other fragrance with the note of lilac, so I think that flower does smell ultra feminine. But in here, it's unisex leaning masculine at the end of the day is what I would categorize it as. Just because the scent profile with this doesn't lean ultra masculine. The same goes with like Myself from YSL, which is also very unisex in my opinion. It kind of smells like Yves Saint Laurent's Libre, which is a women's fragrance. So just this DNA in general, I don't know what's going on nowadays in the modern world, but it seems like a lot of men's fragrances are smelling a little bit more unisex rather than like ultra masculine. That might just be a new trend going on. I'm not quite sure. And when it comes to age groups, it is versatile. You can be a little bit younger and wear this one, maybe like late teens, early 20s, etc. and more mature as well. It's right down the middle. Everybody can basically wear this at any age group. However, I think personally, this is a great fragrance for a boy transitioning into a man. It just kind of gives off that vibe. Maybe somebody in their mid to late 20s, reaching like the early 30s, just because it does give off that kind of elegance, classiness about it, but still has that kind of young guy playful vibe too because of the ambrofix. If you're somebody even like myself, mid and late 20s, this is gonna be an absolute great option for you. Once you start like maybe getting a good job in an office, you wanna smell more respected and classy, you have to check out Gucci Guilty Love Edition because it's gonna give you that kind of image. Once you get into your late 20s, early 30s, you wanna do away with like the Dior Sauvage, which does have a very kind of youthful image about it, and you wanna smell a little bit more grown up. This is a great transition fragrance for that. So wrapping the review off, talking on the performance you guys should expect from Gucci Guilty's Love Edition from my testing on skin at least, guys, I did get slightly below average performance, which was kind of a letdown, which means I did get around 6 hours of pretty solid longevity, but after around that 6 hour mark, guys, it kind of just completely fades like altogether. So this might be something you want to spray on clothes to maybe last a full work shift, like 8 hours. So it's not the worst performing fragrance at the end of the day. It could get you through like a whole work shift if you absolutely wanted it to. But where it kind of let me down a little bit was with the projection, guys. I did get pretty intimate projection where a lot of people around me couldn't really smell it. And I'm not sure if my bottle just has to sit for a little bit. Maybe they try to push these off the shelves very, very quick, maybe for coming up for Valentine's Day, which is soon, because this would be like a great Valentine's Day gift for like your partner, your man, your girl, etc., for each one of you. But that might have been the case, guys. This might mature a little bit, perform a little bit better, maybe within a few months. Right now, out of the box, guys, after testing it a little bit, about 6 hours longevity on skin and pretty intimate projection, which means people are gonna have to like be very, very close in your scent bubble to detect it. It's not gonna be something that somebody could really smell like over an arm's length away from you. Which kind of goes with what I categorize this fragrance as a perfect kind of office work environment fragrance. You don't wanna be like nauseating with your fragrance around everybody at work, especially if you're like working in an office environment with cubicles and people are like right next to you. There is a time and a place for that. And also, like if you're going on a date, you kind of want a more intimate performing fragrance. You don't want her to think, wow, you're overdoing it, or man, you're giving me a headache. You kind of want her to come a little bit closer to smell it on you. And when she does, she's gonna be very, very impressed. That's gonna do it for my review of the brand new Gucci Guilty Love Edition Pour Homme. Let me know down below if you had the chance to try this one. If you tried the one from 2021 Love Edition, I'm kind of curious about your opinions on that one too. And what is your favorite Gucci Guilty in the line? Because they have so many. I know Elixir is probably the one that gets the most respect because it goes more so in the niche world as far as like the scent profile, but just let me know your guys' opinions in this line of Gucci Guilty, which I think is very underrated. Besides that, leave a like, subscribe below if you haven't already, and of course, I'll see all of you back here in my next upload. Take care, everybody.